When Rayman's fourth adventure was first unveiled, it was shown to be an adventure game where Rayman battled an army of zombie-like rabbits. The rabbits themselves were far more menacing in design, and the game featured spider riding and costumes that offered their own abilities. However, when head Michelle Ansel mysteriously disappeared during development, presumably by rabbits, the game was reworked into something very different.
Very different indeed. Rayman Raving Rabbids, 2006. Rayman 4 became a party game, a minigame collection, which saw Rayman get captured by rabbits and forced to take part in a collection of bizarre challenges.
Besides the limbless hero and Glowbox's children, the game featured very little references to the world established in previous games. Instead, it felt more like one big fat advert for the rabbits' crazy antics.
Despite the game's retooling, it still received solid reviews, with much praise on the game's sick sense of humor and overall game design.
There were also two versions released for the handhelds, one for the GBA, and a year later, one for the DS. Unlike their console counterparts, they were 2D platformers rather than minigame collections.
Ooh. Rayman Kart, 2007. Rayman shifted his gear into your pocket with this kart racing game for the mobile phone.
It played similar to Mario Kart and featured some familiar faces, including Glowbox and
Razorbeard. Razorbeard! Oh! Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, 2007.
The original party game got a sequel, and you knew something was wrong when Rayman didn't even grace the cover, but rather the back.
This time, the Rabbids were preparing for an all-out invasion on our world, and it was up to Rayman to stop them. However, despite a promising opening cutscene, the story just dissipates and boils down to a bunch of minigames. Overall, the game received mixed reviews, with many critics noting that the game just wasn't as much fun as its predecessor.
Rayman fans were also peeved that Rayman became a supporting role in what's supposed to be his game. I mean, his name's in the friggin' title, Rayman Raving Rabbids. I repeat, Rayman Raving Rabbids. Rayman Raving Rabbids.
Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party,
2000. I'm affecting our television broadcasting.
Oh god.
Rayman was portrayed as some cowardly, grumpy old man who spends the whole game trying to watch TV while the rabbits interrupt it. The game once again offered a collection of minigames, some of them making use of the Wii Balance Board, with it being advertised as the first game that could be played with your buttocks.
It received average reviews upon release, but it once again sustained the popularity of those crazy rabbits.
And that was ultimately the problem. Rayman didn't belong in these wacky party games, so Ubisoft did the right thing and split the series.
While the Rabbids would continue doing their own games, such as Rabbids Go Home and more party games, and a fighting game and a fighting game for 3DS, Rayman was unfortunately left in the dust, unloved and neglected.
Until E3 2010 came along, and a new 2D adventure was unveiled to the gaming public. Rayman Origins was its name, and it was going to be a downloadable episodic adventure that explored Rayman's origins. Eventually, that changed to a full retail product, but before we get more into that, there's one game we need to cover. Let's go back in time, shall we?
Rayman 3D 2011. Yep, Rayman 2 once again received another re-release. This time for Nintendo's new handheld, the 3DS. The game was pretty much the Dreamcast version of the game, except with the snazzy 3D effects. Anyway, let's just go back to Rayman Origins.
Yes, anyway, back to Rayman Origins. The brilliant-looking new Rayman game was given a retail release for the fall of 2011. The game harkened back to the 2D platforming of the original and combined the worlds of the first and second Rayman to create something fresh and exciting. The game featured a beautiful art style, and the gameplay was also top-notch, fast-paced and smooth without being uncontrollable.
It also had co-op. 4-player co-op.
I didn't get gameplay of it.
The game went on to receiving a critical acclaim, with many critics calling it one of the best platformers of this generation. Sadly, the game did poorly in sales, as gamers were more interested in Modern Warfare 3 and Skyrim and Uncharted 3 and Skyward Sword. So many games in that year, man. There were so many bloody games in 2011. Batman Arkham City.
Oh yeah!
We didn't mention that. What the hell's wrong with you?
Should I just rechange the script while we're doing it now? Or
no, leave it. Just leave it. Let's go to the next one. Rayman Jungle Run 2012.
A year later, and Rayman got a mobile-only game, a side-scrolling runner in the vein of Temple Run. The game saw Rayman automatically running through levels, with the player tasked with jumping and punching through obstacles and collecting as many lumps as possible.
It received positive reviews and was named one of the best iPad gaming apps.
Rayman Legends 2013, which leads us on to Rayman Legends, the latest adventure for the limbless wonder. Originally intended for an exclusive release for the Wii U, the game has since been announced to be going multi-platform.
It continues the foundations laid out in Origins, but also includes new Wii touchscreen functionality, which allows players to control Murphy and interact with the world on the TV.
It also features a new playable character called Barbara. At the moment, the game looks great, and is shaping up to be a worthy successor to Rayman Origins.
Ah, I like those happy endings.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that even when Rayman was about to fall into the pits of retirement alongside other mascots like Croc, Gex, and Earthworm Jim, Ubisoft was willing to give him another chance and show us what he can really do.
It's a shame Nintendo don't do the same with a certain fluffy-tailed hero. Star Fox.